Hello, blessed be to everybody. I've come today to have a little talk about my experience microdosing over the last 2 months. I've been microdosing with psilocybin mushrooms, liberty caps. They grow naturally in the country and real close to the area that I live in. I've lived in this country my entire life. I am 100% from this country, and as I'm growing older I'm starting to feel more and more in tune with this country. The country's Wales. So basically I've known about microdosing for at least 2 years, but this was the first year I actually got to do it properly. And I've been suffering with mental health problems probably my entire life, to be honest. It's been so long that I don't remember not having mental health problems, but I'm constantly looking for ways to do something about it. It's quite hard because I used to be on antidepressants and I really hated them. I couldn't stand them. They made me numb to everything around me. It made me more anxious, made me not want to talk to anybody, made me just generally hate myself. And you know, as a general rule of thumb, we as humans should not hate ourselves. It took me probably up until this year, I'm 25 now, and it probably took me up until now to realize that we are not meant to hate ourselves. We're meant to love ourselves, and not like, oh, look at me, I'm the best, la la la. No, we're meant to accept ourselves and be thankful that we are the mess of atoms that we are. Like, there will only be one of us. There will never be another version of you. There will never be another version of me. Even twins, even identical twins, they're not the same. Everyone is unique. We all have our own like thumbprints, our own cosmic thumbprints, and we're meant to love those things about us. We're meant to love the fact that we're unique. We're meant to love our talents. We're meant to love everything about ourselves, and we're meant to love everyone around us. And I chalk down that we hate ourselves for so long because of our conditional thinking to this society. And this video is sort of just me sharing my experience of the last 2 months of microdosing, because I'm not microdosing anymore. I've run out of my microdose, so I'm just going to level with it and see where it's going. So this video is literally just me telling you about my experience microdosing. So I started microdosing at the beginning of September. It was around middle of September, around the 13th, 14th. I went up to the mountains, had a little goosey around the mountains, quite early on in the season. But we in the UK, in Wales, we have some of the most potent growing mushrooms. So I'm quite lucky in that sense that I don't really need to like go and find other ways to get these mushrooms. I can just do the whole mindfulness of going for a walk into nature and just foraging, like how you would with berries. It's really calming and relaxing. And when you see, like, because one of the mountains that I like to frequent just to go for a walk up, you can see my city where I live from the mountain, and it's like, it's a good 5 miles away on the mountain, but it's just the pure bliss of just seeing the city, seeing like how, you know, everyone that you know is in that city whilst you're sitting on top of this mountain, and all of your problems just dissipate when you're up on this mountain. Like, I'm sure a lot of you will know because you probably love going up mountains too, but this mountain is very sacred to me, not just because of its bountiful harvest of things you can find up there, but because of the energy and the way that it makes me feel when I go up there. But the first time I went further up into the valleys, I went more up by Brecon, but usually I'll go up to this mountain. And so originally I didn't have very many, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to trip this year. So I was like, okay, what I'll definitely do is I'll microdose. And so for my microdosing experience, I have basically been doing it be 2 to 3 like little mushrooms for 3 days in a row, and then it'd be 2 days off. So it'd be like Day 1, take the 2 or 3 mushrooms. Day 2, do the same thing. Day 3, do the same thing. And then day 4 and 5, nothing. Don't take anything, because I didn't realize that we can actually build up a tolerance to psilocybin. So if you continue to take them and take them and take them, you'll eventually just not feel anything, because your tolerance level will just shoot up, like with most drugs and most things. Not that I'm really referring to mushrooms as a drug. I think it's a really ignorant thing to refer to them as a drug. But after that, the first week I didn't really feel much. The first time I did it, I looked at my tapestry and thought that I was starting to trip, which is placebo, because I just freaked out. I was like, oh my god, I just took mushrooms by myself. But no. It was what would be the equivalent to like an antidepressive dose. So instead of antidepressants, I would just take 2 or 3 mushrooms. By the second week, I'm starting to feel a lot different within myself. I have a really, really bad habit of thinking into the future and worrying about the future. It's one of my biggest problems. I've always been a worrier. I've always been really paranoid. And since taking the mushrooms by week 2, I was starting to like struggle to think about the future, in the sense I was struggling to feel scared for the future. I was struggling to, like, if something was worrying me, usually I'd be like, oh, what's going to happen tomorrow? What's going to happen the next day? What's going to happen in a month from now? But now, if something worries me, I just think, well, in this current moment in time, right this second, there's jack shit I can do about it. There's nothing I can do about it. So if there is nothing that I can do about it in this current moment in time, why worry? Why worry? You know, it makes perfect sense, and it's taken me 25 years and like microdosing to understand that. But I still worry about the future, but it's completely different now. It's like I worry about it, but with a smile on my face, as weird as that sounds. I more think, oh, well, it might be bad, something might go wrong, but right now I'm blessed. Right this second, I'm fine. I have a roof over my head, I have warmth, I have beautiful tapestries, beautiful crystals and candles. I can meditate if I feel like shit. It's like, I don't know, it's just like the worry's just gone. Like, I still get worries and I still get depressive episodes, but I just overall feel like I'm me. Like, if you watched my story earlier on Instagram, like, you might have seen the phrase where I said, I feel like I'm driving the car, not the car's driving me. That might have been on Facebook, I can't actually remember. But yeah, I'm driving the car now, the car's not driving me. I feel like I'm in control of my brain again. I don't feel like my brain is like the little voices and words that would like go off in my head and tell me that I'm not good enough, and tell me that no one loves me, and tells me that, like, you know, I'm just general shit. It's like, it's all just toned down from 11 all the way down to like 1, 2. It's like a faint murmur, and now I can just roll my eyes and be like, you don't own me, shut the fuck up. It's just weird. Like, if I hadn't have microdosed, I think by this point I probably would have been self-harming again, and I haven't done that for many years. I'm not going to go into it, I just wanted to bring it up because I really feel like just from microdosing there are these 2 paths, and if I hadn't have microdosed, I'd be on a very destructive path again. Whereas because I've microdosed, I feel more stable, I feel above the water, I don't feel like I'm drowning in shit, and I'm really thankful for that. And this is from a couple of like fucking mushrooms you find on the mountain, and yet they want to tell you the psilocybin is bad for you. They want to tell you that it's poisonous, that it's dangerous. And it's like, it's only dangerous if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't know what they look like, and you don't know where you're getting them from, obviously. But if you know what you're doing and you have a good support network of people who also have the knowledge, then there's nothing dangerous about it. Like, I genuinely believe that all humans, every human on this planet, regardless of if you've got regardless or not, if you're depressed, or you've got anxiety, regardless, even if you're pretty stable in your head, I genuinely think everyone should take mushrooms at least once in their life, be it a microdose, be it a trip, because it unlocks something within your brain. I still don't fully understand what it is. It just does something that, like, just makes you better. It absolutely thrashes your serotonin and dopamine. It just makes it go from down there to up there off the Richter scale, like on like an earthquake of happiness. You just feel free. They make you feel free. Like, this is the most free I've felt in so long. I've had like a pretty shit year, especially like summer was awful. I couldn't stand summer this year, and it's my favorite time of year. But a lot of things happened. I lost a lot of people, not to death, just they moved on from me. And I found that really hard to deal with. So when September rolled round, I had been like under my own like house arrest. I hadn't gone out for a month. From like August till like September, so from Lammas to like just before Mabon, I was like in my house for like an entire month. No magic mushrooms or microdosing by this point, none. I was getting more and more down, and honestly at one point I thought it was coming to the end, to be perfectly honest. But then one of my friends invited me out. I went up to go and see by where they live, because they've recently moved up towards the valleys. I got a little bit to microdose with, and microdosing saved my fucking life, man. It saved my life. Like, I've run out of my microdose now, but I have faith, because next year I can go and get more. And like, 'cause the season's pretty over now, but it saved my life. Microdosing saved my life. I feel way more empowered within myself. I feel more connected to my spirituality. I feel more like just in sync, and like, yeah, I really genuinely think that everyone should microdose. So if you haven't microdosed and you're thinking about it, do it. They're better than antidepressants. It's natural. It's from Gaia. It's a literal gift from Gaia, so we can be better. If everyone on earth took magic mushrooms, microdosing and tripping, I'm telling you, we could solve like wars, we could solve world hunger, we could solve all of our egotistical bullshit. It's just the way forward. And the more people who know about it and know how good it is, I think like it's important to like spread this information. So thank you if you did listen to this. I wasn't really sure where to go with this, and I think I've gone on for like quite a while now, so I'm gonna stop. But thank you for watching if you did, and I hope if you're not sure about microdosing, this has helped you to think, yeah, I can microdose now. I'm telling you, microdosing, way of the future. It was the way of the past. It's the way it's always been for millennia, but end the stigma. Just end the stigma. Blessed be, and thank you for listening.